First at 5, we're tracking new developments in the private school scandal in Middletown. Tonight, a group of former St. George's students are talking about the sexual abuse they claim they endured while at the prestigious school.
And as we reported last month, the school's internal investigation concluded more than 24 students were molested over the course of 2 decades. At a news conference in Boston today, 3 former students claimed the abuse was even more widespread, and the Episcopal School of intimidating students to keep it quiet.
Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell was at the news conference. She joins us live from Boston with the latest.
Those former students say they never wanted it to come to this, but they say the school silenced them for too long and covered up too many crimes. For Katie Wales-Loke, the tears flowed freely as she shared her story of sexual abuse at St. George's School.
It was absolutely horrible.
Katie says she was assaulted by Allege, an athletic trainer at the boarding school from 1973 to 1980. And Scott says she was Gibbs' victim too. She filed a lawsuit years ago but dropped it, and she says the school forced her to sign a gag order which was in effect until 2015.
When you're raped, your voice is stolen, your soul is taken away, and all that a gag order does is preserve the institution's reputation and seal the trauma inside.
In all, 40 people have come forward claiming to be victims of sexual abuse at St. George's School. The most recent alleged assault happened in 2004. Attorneys say 7 of the alleged perpetrators worked at the school, 4 were students.
I was publicly raped while at St. George's as a freshman in 1978 by a fellow student, with at least 5 witnesses.
The victims we heard from tell us for decades, school administrators past and present have ignored their pleas for help.
I want this school to thrive in the future, but it cannot thrive until we flush out the bad, and Eric Peterson has got to go.
The school did commission its own investigation, which identified multiple victims, 6 employee perpetrators and 3 student perpetrators. In a letter sent to alumni last month, the school offered an apology saying, "To all victims, we are truly deeply sorry for the harm done to you by former employees or former students of the school. We pledge to do all we can to support you in your efforts to heal." Al Gibbs was fired in 1980. He died in 1996. We're choosing to not name the other alleged perpetrators because no lawsuits or criminal complaints have been filed against them. Rhode Island State Police tell us they are investigating the claims of abuse, and attorneys say they believe there is a chance for criminal prosecution for some of the alleged offenders because there's no statute of limitations on rape charges in Rhode Island. Live in Boston with the mobile newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
Now, new developments in a sex abuse investigation at a prestigious private Episcopal school in Middletown. We told you last month after St. George's School alumni publicly accused several former employees. 3 of those alleged victims held a news conference today calling for an independent review of the case. Now, the Pinpoint News Tracker will take you to Boston, and that's where Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell is now.
Last month, St. George's School sent a letter to alumni which included a public apology to victims. But so far today, the school has not responded to our emails or calls. There were tears and lots of hugs as former St. George's School classmates gathered for a news conference about their alma mater.
It was an environment that was taken over by evil.
Harry Groom is one of 40 people who've come forward claiming to be victims of sexual abuse at St. George's School from the 70s through 2004. Attorneys say 7 of the alleged perpetrators worked at the school, 4 were students.
We were scared out of our minds every night. If we were called out in the hall, you just didn't know what was going to happen to you.
There aren't any lawsuits or criminal complaints pending against the alleged perpetrators, but attorneys say prosecution is possible for some of them because there's no statute of limitations on first-degree sexual assault in Rhode Island.
The magnitude and scope of this is already approaching the largest private school sexual abuse case that we've seen. In a letter to students in December, St. George's School officials named Al Gibbs as one of the perpetrators of sexual abuse on campus. Gibbs was an athletic trainer at the school from 1973 until 1980 when he was fired. He died in 1996.
Rhode Island State Police are investigating. We've also learned the Episcopal Diocese of Rhode Island has reached out to bishops in other dioceses where 3 of the men allegedly involved in the abuse and cover-up now live and work. In Boston with the Mobile Newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.